सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः together चैतन्यं सर्वगं सर्वं सर्वभूतगुहाशयं यत्सर्वविषयातीतं तस्मै सर्वविदे नमः समापय्य क्रियाः सर्वाः ताराज्ञाधानपूर्विकाः ब्रह्मविद्यामथेदानीं वक्तुं वेदः प्रचक्रमे The first line talks about the Purva Bhaga of the Veda. The first portion of the Veda is talked about here, which is conditioned, entering which first portion of the Veda requires all these accoutrements. What are they? Fire, spouse, and of course, one accoutrement is already there. What is that? Lots of desires. And then because of that, I need fire. And the fire ritual has to be done along with spouse. Therefore, spouse is needed. So like this, in order to fulfill some wants, all these other wants are already there. So many wants are there, so many things are there. And so therefore, it's like an unending first portion of the Veda, because endless wants, endless feeling that I am a wanting person, and endless miseries of various kinds. And then that's going to be elaborated a little more in the next couple of verses. But this is just an appetizer here. Okay, yeah, we'll have the main dish in verses number 3 and 4, which we'll come to. So the appetizer is not very good looking, especially by itself. It's stale and has been left out for too long. And eating which, of course, one will get a tummy pain. This is what the appetizer looks like. What is the antidote to the tummy pain caused by the appetizer of connecting or identifying oneself as a wanting person and taking one desire after the next and fulfilling it? What is the antidote? The antidote is the last portion of the Veda. Vedanta. Vedanam antah. Sometimes they wrongly say Vedadanta, means the teeth of Vedanta. And in fact, you will be surprised, in India, there are so many. When I take a walk, I see Vedanta Dental Center. And I know that that's what they're thinking. They're thinking it is the teeth of the Veda or something like that. And all the dentists' names are Vedanta. And it's just very funny. So it's not way plus danta, but it is Vedanam Antah, situational compound, that which comes at the end of the Vedas. And we know why it comes at the end of the Vedas, because that's how long it takes to get the maturity. First, you have to go through it. And if you say, I don't even know how to spell Veda, how am I going through it? I'll just have one question to ask you. Do you have desires? And if you're honest, you will say yes. And then that itself is enough. The desire creates longing. The longing is really for a sense of belonging. But since this sense of belonging is gone unrecognized, then what happens because of that? Pain, sorrow, fear ensues. And the longing for a sense of belonging really morphs into longing for objects that belong to me. You want me to repeat that? Yes, no? Yes. Yeah. So the longing for a sense of belonging morphs into a longing for objects which belong to me, which belong to one. And because of that, sadly, one misses seeing the most obvious thing. Like even Watson. Who is Watson? Ah, sidekick of Sherlock Holmes. They went camping. Sherlock Holmes woke up in the middle of the night. They prodded him. Watson, what do you see? Watson sleepily rubbed his eyes and woke up, looked at the sky and said, astrologically speaking, the sun, the moon today is in the Leo constellation. Horologically speaking, there is 60% chance of rain tomorrow. And so many things he said. Meteorologically speaking, the wind is blowing at 5 miles an hour. Anything else, sir? Idiot, Sherlock Holmes said. Somebody has made off with our tent. So the most obvious thing we miss. That which is the most obvious is missed immediately. So here too, what I lack is a sense of belonging, a oneness with everything. I need to know I matter. And I can only know I matter when I'm one with all matter. That's what matters. And I don't understand this. And so, because of missing this sense of belonging, that desire gets morphed into various longings to hold on to objects with which I have a sense of belonging. Now, if the sense of belonging that is me, is centered on me, is transferred to objects which belong to me, you can see the problem already. How long do the objects last? Not very long. What do I want? Something forever. I want this belonging to be forever. And this here is the problem. And so the first portion of the Vedas basically is a treatise on wish fulfillment. Hopefully, this big baby will grow up and want to know that other than this playpen and the toys, what else is out there? Maybe I need to come out of this pen. And many people don't come out of the pen ever, life after life after life. And that difficulty is also going to be pointed out in the verses to come. So, this big baby, when it starts to have a little bit of an emotional maturity, will definitely question both the desires and the way of fulfilling them, that is leaving one half happy, half sad all the time, leaving one unfulfilled, it will question. And when that questioning happens, one is ready for Vedanta. That is when one is ready for Vedanta. So therefore, all the activities, forget fire rituals. If you want to look at it from the standpoint of the modern contemporary day, we have to look at everything that one does in order to get a sense of self-satisfaction. But one doesn't know that one is in search of self-satisfaction. The desire for self-satisfaction is thrown on to other objects. It's called a projection, a transference of sort. And so because of that, the desire morphs into holding on to many, many, many finite things infinitely instead of seeking the infinite. In fact, when I seek the infinite, I'm safe because the desire is very clear and the quest is finite. But if I miss that, I become an infinite seeker. It's better to be the seeker of the infinite than an infinite seeker. This is the truth. So, therefore, having finished up with all this, only then will Vedanta speak. And this is resonant of the Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, where the student is told, Parikshya lokan karmachitan nirvedam nastya krita kritena tadvijnanartham gurumeva sa abhigachet brahmanah samitpanihi trotriyam brahmanishtam. The Mundakopanishad is very generous. It says, please examine all these fields of desire. Desire, desiring desirable objects. Examine all the lokas. Lokas means fields of experience. Iha and amutra. Iha means right here. Amutra means elsewhere also. Please examine all the lokas. And when you examine all the lokas, very thoroughly, honestly, there's only one conclusion that you can come. Two conclusions. First is these lokas are karma chita. Karmana chita. Or karma bhihi, if you want to use plural. Chitam, karma chitam. Chita means gathered, gained. By what? Action. So these lokas, these fields of experience, whether it's a person, object, thing, or place, everything is loka. Either in the here or the hereafter, that's also loka. So all these lokas, and you going to these lokas, you quote unquote enjoying, at least for a little while, these lokas are a result of what? Your karma. Karma chitam. Your good karma allows you to go to these lokas and have a good time for how? A little while you have a good time. You enjoy. Even here you go, suddenly you find yourself in a nice restaurant. Somebody invited, you had never even seen the likes of these restaurants. It's got some star. What is that called? Michelin star, yes. I went to one such restaurant in Thailand. Somebody took Michelin restaurant. How did you find yourself there? You can say, oh, somebody invited me. Why did somebody invite you and not somebody else? That's because of karma. Whose karma? You can't say it's the restaurant's karma. It's my karma. Because of my karma, I have gone to this wonderful restaurant, Indian restaurant in Thailand. In fact, the owners are devotees of Puja Swamiji. And so they have a wonderful restaurant there, Michelin star restaurant. And so if you go there, you see that, okay, some good karma, which I have done either in this life or in the previous lives. Karma includes upasana, meditation also. The phala, I'm enjoying the karma phala. And one thing, if you know about karma phala, is that it is finite. It comes to an end. Either it comes to an end because other people are waiting to have lunch there and then you need to leave, or it comes to an end because you are full and you can't imagine even looking at food, forget eating it. That's why you have to leave. In any case, you have to leave. You go to a concert. That also has a start date and an end time, starting time, ending time, 6 to 8. You go to a party, you can't just move in with the hosts. They will say, please leave. You can't just go away and say, I'm not going to come out of this party. Everything is finite. Vacation, 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks, and then finished. Over. And then what else? So many other things. Anything that you enjoy, anything that I come together with. This is Acharya Sureshwara's words, one disciple of Adi Shankara. Viyogantaha sarve sanyogaha. Sanyogaha, coming together. Viyogantaha means all coming together lasts until things separate. Coming together lasts until things separate, whether in this loka or not. Why? Because it's based on the karma phala, which is what? Finite. No one can have infinite karma phala. Infinite karma, yes, but not infinite karma phala. So, karma phala is finite. It's enjoyed and gone. So here in the Mundaka Upanishad, the Guru tells the disciples, Parikshya, just like Samapya, Parikshya, having recognized, having examined all the fields of experience, here and even Indraloka. You go to Indra's world, you go to Brahmaji's world, you go to Ajana Ajana Deva's world, you go to Pitraloka. So many, we are not satisfied with one heaven. In the Shastra, we have 7 heavens and 7 hells also. 7 up, 7 down. And so, in any of these places you go, it's all finite. Everything is finite. You have to come back. You cannot become a citizen of Pitraloka. No. You have to come back because what has taken you there is your own karma. And having gone to Indraloka, as soon as you finish taking a selfie with Indra, then you're booted down to earth. Because why? Karma phala got exhausted. This is what we have to come to this conclusion. First is everything is because of my karma and karma is finite. And then the second conclusion, the only other conclusion you have to come to, you can come to, is Nasti akritaha kritena. Kritena karmana akritam brahma nasti. By the actions that I have undertaken, that which is not a product, namely myself, Brahman, Ishvara, Atma, is not producible. You cannot produce something which is not a product. If it's not a product, then actions are useless. Therefore, what? Tad vijnanartham. In order to know this, because now it's not in the realm of doing anymore. From the realm of doing, I have migrated to the realm of knowing. This is the graduation. No, I'm not ready. All right, no problem. Few more lives, do. I don't think I'll ever be ready. That's a perception. Why can't I get moksha through karma? Because of this very thing what is said here. Karma and its results are finite. What I am seeking is the infinite, and the infinite happens to be what? Myself alone, which I have to recognize. Karma can only do 4 kinds of things. That's its scope. What's the first thing it can do? It can produce something. Janyam, it can produce something. Like you put a seed, you water it, water it, water it, and then it produces a sprout. Janyam. Then something else it can do. It can do vikaryam. You can take two different things and modify that to produce something. Like you can take starter and milk and make yogurt. Vikaryam, there is a modification of this milk. Then what else can karma do? Samskaryam, cleaning. There is a copper pot that looks like a clay pot because it's been left out in the elements for too long. But somehow you get it out because there's a small little chink which shines. So you take some tamarind and then you nicely in a little water and nicely scrub it, and the whole thing becomes copper. Not becomes, is already copper. The whole thing shines as copper. Third thing, vikaryam, samskaryam. Then finally, apyam means you want a glass of water, let us say, but it is away from you. It's in the kitchen, and you are where in the living room. So what do you have to do? Either you have to go and get it, or ask somebody to go and get it. Right? So it is away from you. You have to get it. This is the realm of action. Action cannot do anything else. Which of these actions are you going to deploy to gain the Atma? Please tell. You're going to sow the seed and wait for it to come. It's like those little children's riddles. How does the elephant climb up a tree? How does it climb up a tree? It sits on a seed and waits for it to grow. This is something told to children. Are you going to do that? No, you can't do that. And so, Janyam, to produce something, that karma is denied for gaining Atma, quote unquote, gaining Atma. Okay, Vikaryam. I'll put two things together. Result is Atma. All right, I'm with you. So, one ingredient we already know is Atma. What is the other thing you'll put along with it? Is there anything else other than Atma? Say no so we can move on. No. Then you'll say, what? Yesterday we discussed anatma. I can put atma and anatma and mix them together. Okay, mix them together first of all. How are you going to mix them together? They don't even see each other, really. It's like saying, me and my shadow are going to go for a walk. Really? Is that possible? Yes, yes, we like to hold hands. This is not going to work. There's nothing other than Atma, and what we call Anatma is also what? Atma alone is not separate from the Atma. How are you going to do this? Vikaryam cancelled. Okay, samskaryam. Yes, Atma has a covering. This is what people seriously talk in so many meetings and everything. Atma is covered. Atma has to be cleaned up. In fact, there are a lot of theologies as well that talk about this. Like the Jain people feel like the Atma is just as big as the body. So the Atma has to be continually clean. And so samskaryam, cleaning. First of all, Atma is Shuddha, Nitya Shuddha. That which does not require cleaning is Atma. That which does not get tarnished is Atma. That which never gets sullied either by karma or karma phala, papa, punya, dharma, adharma is what? Atma. How are you going to do this? Samskaryam, cancelled. It never gets sullied. And besides, if it got dirty once and I cleaned it, what does that mean? It will get dirty again. And this kind of an Atma do you want? No. Thankfully, that is not subject to that at all. Three things are gone now. What is the fourth one left? Atma is in the kitchen. I have to go get it. Is it ever away from you? Even when you say, I'm lonely, Atma is right there, enabling you, shining the light on a certain emotion. Even when you say, Atma, I miss you, it is the one allowing you to say that. So the realm of action is totally exhausted, my friends. We don't have any way in which action is going to make me closer to the Atma, closer to knowing the Atma, I mean. Not possible at all, ever, ever, ever. So, this is exactly what the invitation here, the hidden invitation in the second verse, is to go from being a consumer and a karmaholic, a karma phalaholic, to understanding that which is never covered, never away from me. Nobody can say Atma is covered, just like we cannot say the clouds are covering the sun. That would not be correct. Clouds are not covering the sun. It's because of the sun that you even see the clouds. This is another student of Adi Shankara, Hastamalakiya. Hastamalakiyam he wrote. Hastamalaka was his name. घनच्छन्न दृष्टिः घनच्छन्नमर्कं मन्यते अतिमूढः अतिमूढः means absolutely no hope, fool. Yeah, this kind of a deluded person, terribly deluded, atimudhaha. A terribly deluded person says, thinks, what does the person say? The person says that the sun is covered. But what is covered is his own eyes, her own eyes. Eyes are covered, the sun can never be covered. So we should really clarify even our speech. We cannot say Atma is covered. But I want to say that you have to have the safe words. What are they? As though. You just put say as though. It appears to be covered by my own ignorance, but nothing, even ignorance cannot cover the Atma. Because Atma shines the light on even ignorance. That's how one comes to ashram. That's how one comes to a retreat, because one says, I have self ignorance. That which shows even the covering is Atma. So now that this the antidote has been established, the disease of samsara and its antecedents are going to be elucidated in verses number 3 and 4. Excuse me. Verses number 3 and 4. Let us chant them. कर्माणि देहयोगार्थम् देहयोगे प्रिया प्रिये ध्रुवे स्यातां ततो रागः द्वेषश्चैव ततः क्रिया धर्माधर्मौ ततो ज्ञस्य देहयोगस्तथा पुनः एवं नित्यप्रवृत्तोऽयम् संसारश्चक्रवद्भृशम्. Very nice verses. It details a downward spiral. where one feels like one is part of a vortex. You know what a vortex is? You keep saying, oh, no, 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 no. Here I go, here I go. Oh, no, no, like this. A downward spiral is there. So, first offender here is what? What have we been talking about? Karma. The uselessness of karma in knowing myself. The uselessness of karma in gaining moksha is being discussed very, very clearly. So we start with the first thing in the chain. We start with the top feeder. Okay, and then we go further below to the bottom. So, what is the first thing here? Karma. The more I do karma, Taukika karma, Vaidika karma, both the secular actions and sacred rituals, etc. The more I am a karmaholic, then what happens? All those karmas team up to give me a body. In fact, how did this body come about? How did this body come about? Neighbor's karma? No, your own karma. Our own karma gave us this body with all its wonders and challenges. Our own karma has given this body, and so karmani, karma, karmani, karmani, it's neuter. So karmani, all these karmas, what do they do? What are they for? Deha yoga. Yoga means joining with the body. Viyoga, departing from the body, deha viyoga. Yoga, joining with the body. There is one book of, what is that called? Tibetan Book of Death and Dying. Very interesting book. And there it is said that all these disembodied jivas, departed jivas, they are literally they're already dead, but they are dying to be born again. They're itching to be born again. Why? Because only when they have a body, they'll have hands, legs, they can do things, they can experience things, they'll have sense organs, they can hear things, taste things, experience things. They really want a body. So, of course, they are all over, we don't see them. But the sensitives who can see these things say that they hang around at marriage ceremonies a lot and follow the newly married couple home after the ceremony. Are you my mommy? Are you my daddy? Because they want to be born quickly. Why? Because there is a lot of unfulfilled desires and there is a lot of leftover karma. And that karma has to fructify in the form of this body. So this body is what? Karma phala. This body is karma phala. Not somebody else's karma phala, your own karma phala. And many times people say, oh, you can take on the karma of others, etc. I don't know about that. But a lot of times, one's own karma brings about so many difficulties, physically, challenges. One's own karma. Forget other people's karma. And so karmani, so the first link is how I suddenly find I have a body. I'm a baby crying in a crib, cribbing about why I'm here. And then I have this body. What is this body? The result of karma. Karmani deha yogartham. Karma ensures the birth of the body. And then what? Deha yoge. When there is a joining with the body, then what happens? Priya priye. Priya, pleasant. Apriya, hello. Translation, unpleasant. Priya plus apriya, priya, priye, dual, because there are two things here. No, that will come later. Priya, priye, pleasant and unpleasant. So, first you have karma, leftover karma from the previous life, like what is called Sanchita karma. The Sanchita karma is a massive, like a bank account, where all the karmas ever done, only as a human being or a human like life. That's the only thing to count, nothing else. Any kind of karma done in any life for any length of time, human or human like life, where there is free will, all of them constitute Sanchita karma. It goes and joins this huge bank account, out of which a small portion is broken off. It's like you can imagine having enough dough to make 10,000 pizzas. And out of that, you break off one particular pizza and then you put certain toppings on it. And then it goes into the hot oven of samsara. And then it is now called pizza. It has a new body. It has a new name. And all these things. Cheese pizza, vegetarian pizza. So many things are there. Other things we should not name, so we are not going to. So we just see that still, only one pizza worth of karma is there. The rest is still there. Other 9,999 pizzas to be made are yet there waiting. One pizza comes out because of the karma, little portion of karma is broken off and constitutes this particular body, mind, sense complex. And as soon as there is a certain kind of a unity with the body, one is joined with the body, a body includes mind and senses, immediately certain things are pleasurable and certain things are oh so painful. I want my life to be all soft, soft things. Doesn't work that way. The more I want pleasant things, what comes? Only unpleasant things come. I want to avoid the unpleasant and only go towards the pleasant. And then you can say, what's wrong with that? That's a human tendency, is it not? Yes, it's a human tendency, but it's going to cost you. Why should it cost me? What's wrong with avoiding the unpleasant? Because the unpleasant is what? Karma phala. Why? Because the unpleasant is being experienced by what? The body. And the body is what? Again, karma phala. So when I avoid the unpleasant, I am just taking a little break. The unpleasant will come back in some form, way or the other. If it is supposed to come back, it will come back. I can either cry now or cry later. Those are the only two options. Unpleasant and pleasant themselves do not cause joy or sorrow. But because there is a wrong identification with the body called Bhrantijatadatmya. An identification based on Bhranti, delusion. A deluded identification with the body causes me to personalize the unpleasant situation, and instead of going through it gracefully with integrity, I take it personally and cry, why me? How many people in the world? 8 billion. And each one is crying, why me? This becomes a refrain. You see, if it's an unpleasant situation, like a very, very, very hot day in some kind of, in a place called Jaisalmer in Rajasthan, what to do? Put on the fan. Not enough. Okay, put on the air conditioning. Still not enough. Or the air conditioner broke. Okay, air conditioner broke. Go buy another. Right now, I cannot buy another air conditioner. Not possible. Order one online. Okay, they don't have drones that will deliver the air conditioner. So what to do? You just have to say, okay, I'm just going to sit under the fan. Only hot air is moving. Yes, this is what it is. Okay, nothing to do about it. What can you do? No, I'm going to another place. Okay, go if you can. Well, that's closed. All right, come back under the fan. That's all there is. This is an objective fact that it is too hot and there is only a fan which is just circulating hot air. But this objective fact, because of ajnanam, as it's going to be talked about later, I convert into a subjective problem. Why is this happening only to me? The hotel room on the left has air conditioning, no problem. The hotel room on the right has two ACs, no problem at all. Why only me? Why only this room? And how come they are full and they can't change my room? And how come all the hotels are full? Because it's a tourist town and therefore I am being targeted. First, I was just hot. Now I am hot and bothered, both. This is Priya and Apriya. Priya and Apriya objectively, but when I'm hot, I'm bothered. When I'm cold, I'm bothered. That botheration, it means it has touched the emotional realm. I have internalized this. So the pleasure and pain, and along with that, which gets converted into a certain botheration, this is what is the problem. And that is for who? The embodied one. The 7th chapter of the Chandogya has a beautiful vakya. Ashariram va vasantam na priya priye sprishataha. Same priya priye. Beautiful. Ashariram, for the one that does not have a body. Ashariram va vasantam. Santam means for the one that is not having a body. Na priya priye sprishataha. Neither the pleasant nor the unpleasant experiences touch. Prajapati gives teaching to Indra. It's so beautiful. Who is this one without a body? Huh? Atma. Ashariram sharireshu kathopanishad. Anavastheshu avasthitam. Mahantam vibhumatmanam matva dhiro na shochati. Dhiraha, the enlightened one, the one who is understanding I am this Atma. The one of self-knowledge, the one that has used the buddhi properly is dhira. Dhiman. Na shochati, does not grieve. Does not grieve when confronted by the pleasant or the unpleasant, because the identification with the body has been negated, strategically negated. I'm still responsible for keeping the body clean, for keeping the body safe, for keeping it fed and sending it to bed on time. I'm still a managing trustee. But what is lacking now because of Atma Jnanam is the fact that I am what's that? I am sad because the body is going through unpleasant experiences. That is gone. This is what is Brantijam Tadatmyam, an identification born of ignorance or delusion. And what is this identification? I am as good as this body. Dehe pushte aham pushtah. Dehe nashte aham nashtah. If the body is nourished, I am okay. If the body is perished, if the body perishes, I am also gone. This is the wrong identification. When that is reversed, the Chandogya Upanishad, Prajapati says in the Chandogya Upanishad, Na priya priye sprishataha. The person of knowledge, for one who identifies as the Atma, Neither experiences of Priya pleasant nor experiences of Apriya unpleasant bother the person. Doesn't get carried away when there are delightful experiences, takes them in stride, doesn't get down when there are unpleasant experiences, takes them also in stride. Very beautiful quotation, it is very nice. So, then coming back here, so then Priya and Apriya, then Dhruve Syatam. So Syat, Syatam, Sihu, dual. Syatam. What are the two things here? Priya and Apriya. Priya, Priye, Dhruve Syatam. When this is ascertained that Priya and Apriya are there, then what happens? We are going again with our sordid story of samsara. Tatah Ragah, Dveshah cha. So when Priya and Apriya are there, that gives the identification with the Priya and Apriya, the internalization of the Priya and Apriya, the wrong identification with the body, because of which I see Priya and Apriya as targeted towards me. That causes, or that is buttressed by Raga and Dvesha. What is raga? Strong preferences. What is dvesha? Strong prejudices. Raga and dvesha are these terrible twins that run one's life. Very mischievous and terrible. Don't let you rest even for a second. So, then the preferences and prejudices come. Prejudice for the apriya, preferences for the priya. Naturally, I want to increase the priya quotient and decrease the apriya quotient. Naturally, this is what I want to do. So, raga dveshascha, and what is that? Tato ragaha dveshaha chaiva. So how do I do this? How do I increase the priya quotient and decrease the apriya quotient in my life? What can I do? That itself, in that question itself is the answer. What can I do? So raga dvesha leads to more action. I don't like this, I don't like this, I'm going to get away from here. I don't like you, and I'm going to make sure that you are not in my life. So I'm going to do something about it. I don't like this, so I'm going to make sure that this is not around. Raga and Dvesha, the presence of Raga and Dvesha, we are not going to go into specifics here, generally causes two kinds of actions called pravritti and nivritti, respectively. Pravritti for raga based objects and nivritti for dvesha based pursuits or objects. Two kinds of pursuits. Pravritti means going towards. Nivritti means what? Running away from. And the stock example is what? Pravritti stock example is the shell on the beach, which shines like a silver coin. Shuktika. So the Shuktika is mistaken for Rajat, silver. And because it is mistaken for silver, from far away I see, and then inside there is a raga. You see how the raga is making me do things. Inside there is a raga for the silver coin. I see what I think is a silver coin on the beach. And what is the action? Run towards it before other people go and get it. Run. This is called pravritti, approach. Go do things, get things which are far away from me. Make it mine. Then the second set of actions is called nivritti. And the stock example for that is snake. Whether the snake is rope snake or any other kind of snake doesn't matter. When I see reptilian things, for most people, there are of course exemptions. Once I talked like this, and then somebody came and said, I love snakes and I love scaly things. Okay, yeah. So if you happen to be in the audience, Om Namaha, no problem. You can think of some other example of objects you want to run away from. Okay, so but for most people, snakes and other reptilian things, biting things, toxic things cause fear because we don't know how they will behave. We don't know how to protect ourselves. We don't know what to do. So what do? We keep them at a distance. And supposing they cross paths, we run away. Supposing anything like this is near us, we run away. This is dvesha. So dvesha causes nivritti, raga causes what? Pravritti. And both nivritti and pravritti come under the rubric of two kinds of actions that are taken. Most generally speaking, specifically, there'll be so many actions. I don't have this, I have to go get this, then I go get this, and then whatever it is, I don't know what it would be, but many times it happens. You want an object, you go get that object, and then you realize, oh, it's not going to work, I need an adapter. I don't think you need an adapter. I think you need to adapt to not having it at all. But no, I'll go buy an adapter. Then that adapter is not the right kind of adapter. This happens usually with all these electronic devices which are too numerous these days. Then, I forget, I don't adapt, I need an adapter. And then I go get the adapter is the wrong kind of adapter. But then somebody tells you, you call a tech person, and after being, that is also one more kriya, pravritti. And then the tech person, of course, I don't know where they are few and far between. So you stay on the phone for 1.5 hours. And then finally somebody comes on and says, no need to return it because that adapter will fit with another little adapter. You put in between the two and then it will fit. So then you go in search of yet another adapter to fix the adapter which you did not need anyway to begin with. This is endless kriya pravritti based. Nivritti based also we can give such examples. You get away from a particular job and the most annoying colleague follows you to the next job because you happen to be a role model for them. Oh, you left, I'm also coming. Oh, you're joining this company. Oh, goody, they have a vacancy. I'm also going to apply. And out of the 150 people applied, your ex-colleague, who you thought would be your ex-colleague, the most annoying person in the office, because of whom you were thinking of leaving the job, is the one who got the interview and got the job out of the 150 people. Nivritti-based example. Vesha-based example. I had some people there in Colorado, and I went to give satsang in their house. And they were living in the middle of nowhere. I said, how? Even the nearest, what's that place to buy milk? What is that called? 7-Eleven, grocery store, whatever, it was so far. They had to drive 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I said, why are you so far away? Well, we have a sad story. What happened? We were in the city, but we had a terrible neighbor who was always remodeling the house. Drill, dug, 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 hammer, something or the other, all the time. No sooner they would finish one remodeling project, they would have another remodeling project and yet another remodeling project and one more. And we said we cannot handle this noise, so we took the first lot in an empty development, very very far away from humankind. I said, oh, so it worked. So now you have peace and quiet. And I spoke too soon because as soon as I said that, duck, 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 I said, what's that? That's our sad story. I said, what happened? Well, Some people moved in and they said, "Oh, this is such a faraway place, and we want to build our house right next to yours." So as soon as our house was complete, they bought the lot next door and they started to build their house right next to us for another 6 9 months. And after 6 9 months, what will happen? The neighbor will come, introduce himself, herself, and say, "Are you fond of remodeling? That's my hobby." Pakka. This is what will happen. Nivritti based. Based on raga dvesha, what kind of kriya? So, what is that? Act in haste and repent at leisure. Cry at leisure. This is what is there. And so the actions here, either pravritti based or nivritti based, are buttressed by and are driven by raga dvesha. Raga dvesha are just fantastically kept matching chestnut horses. And they drive you to places, they drive you away from places. So raga dvesha leads to what? Kriya. Are we done? No, there is more. Then what happens? Then Kriya, what does action give? Result of actions. And that comes in the next verse. Dharma and adharma. Here, dharma and adharma are not the kind of actions that one does. Here it means punya and papa. But which kind of actions give punya and which kind of actions give papa? Well, we have to see what kind of dharma and adharma have been followed or flouted in our urgent pursuit to gain the results of action. We set in motion a whole lot of actions, useless actions, just like, jumping in one place, like that. Useless action, not going anywhere. But then, how is the action itself does not create papa punya? How the action is performed creates the papa punya. So if I have followed the actions, in doing the actions, if I have followed dharma, then it will create results of actions that will lead later to priya. Remember priya? Don't forget her. Okay? Which will lead to priya. If I have flouted the rules of dharma and done whatever I wanted, ends justify the means, and I have cut corners and done shortcuts and hurt people and cut out the competition in the wrong way, then that will lead to what? Papa, which fructifies in the next life as apriya. Do you see there is a cyclical kind of a thing? We are going around in circles, but more of a downward spiral. More components to be seen in the evening class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.